there's a feeling that they're finally getting a taste of their own medicine, which is poison. And so the mood really is at the moment, wait and see. But on the other hand, I do think the Sussexes are suddenly finding great problems about establishing.
Oh my goodness, can you even believe this? Meghan Markle has always had critics, but this time she's been completely blindsided, and who's behind it? None other than Tom Bower, the man Britain calls the fearless biographer. He's built his entire career going after the biggest names in politics, the most powerful tycoons, and now he's come for Meghan. And let me tell you, his revelations, they've left Meghan not just angry, but downright humiliated. She's fuming, she's threatening lawsuits, and insiders say this time it's personal. For Meghan, this isn't just some random tabloid headline she can brush off. Oh no, this is her entire carefully polished image being dismantled in front of the world.
Which they thought they had 2 years ago and has now really evaporated. And they're really looking for a cause. They're looking for something to do. And this division where suddenly Harry announces he might go off to Africa and make a film about sex.
And let's be real, Meghan spent years shaping that image. The glamorous Duchess, the humanitarian everyone's supposed to admire, the strong mother, and of course, the victim of royal cruelty. That's the character she's been playing. But Tom Bower, he painted a completely different picture. Not glamorous, not saintly. He painted her as secretive, ambitious, and manipulative. And apparently, Meghan is so furious she's threatening to drag him to court. But hold up, the most shocking part? He outright mocked her, calling her a 54-year-old granny. Can you imagine? Yes, people say it's exaggerated and cruel, but oh my, it hit her right where it hurts. Because if there's one thing Meghan obsesses over, it's youth, beauty, and staying Hollywood-level glamorous.
And Meghan, who can't clearly relaunch the tea because she couldn't even do her own podcasts, she has not forgotten how to work. So I think this week, from what I'm told, they've just been hitting their heads against the wall, trying to discover what should we do, how do we actually...
For a woman who built her entire persona on elegance and style, being reduced to a fading figure, that's a humiliation she probably can't stand. And honestly, it strikes at her worst fear that people don't see her as tomorrow's star anymore, but yesterday's headline. But wait, it gets even uglier because Tom Bower didn't just stop at the granny jab. Oh no, he dug up the infamous yacht girl rumors. You know the whispers. Meghan in her networking days, mingling with the wealthy and elite on private yachts. Bower went further than anyone before him, outright branding her as a low-grade yacht girl. That's not glamorous, that's desperate.
The Dior supposed contract evaporated. She has made herself, to some extent, contaminated. And how does a contaminated person actually sell? You see, what was brilliant about the Kardashians was, and is, they keep on reinventing themselves. They always create some...
Meghan has tried so hard for years to bury these stories. She's always brushed them off, saying they're false and misogynistic. But Bower just shoved them back into the spotlight, and suddenly the whole world is whispering again. And Meghan, she's reportedly seething. Because here's the thing, Meghan's entire brand relies on being taken seriously as a humanitarian and global leader. But once the yacht girl label sticks, she's no longer a serious figure. She's reduced to someone who clawed her way into elite circles using charm and ambition, and that destroys the foundation of her image. And then, as if that wasn't devastating enough, Bower took another swing. Meghan has always told the story that she knew nothing about the royal family before Harry. It was her fairy tale narrative, the American outsider who just happened to fall in love with a prince. Cute, right? But Bower says nope. That's a flat-out lie. He claims Meghan was fascinated with Princess Diana, that she researched the royals, that her friends even said she always wanted to marry into power. That's not a clueless outsider. That's calculated strategy. And if she lied about this, what else did she lie about? And oh, just when you thought it couldn't get worse, Bower claims Meghan didn't even target Harry first. No, according to him, her eyes were set on Prince William. When that didn't work out, only then did she pivot to Harry, the so-called spare. Imagine the sting. Meghan has spent years pushing her marriage as this epic love story, the fairy tale romance of a lifetime. But if people believe she was chasing the crown more than the man, that whole story collapses. And let me tell you, the internet did not let that one slide.
Reporting in your book on what this was likely based on and how it doesn't match up to what Meghan said. Here's the clip, Sot 6, from the Oprah interview.
In those months when I was pregnant, all around this same time,
And of course, Meghan's reaction? Pure fury. Reports say she's threatening to sue Tom Bauer, ordering her lawyers to silence his claims immediately. But here's the catch. Tom Bauer isn't just some random gossip columnist scribbling rumors. Oh no, he's known for bringing receipts. We're talking documents, testimonies, solid evidence. And if Meghan dares to drag him into court, she risks exposing even more secrets. It's like walking straight into a trap. Fight back and the skeletons in her closet could come tumbling out. Stay silent and the world assumes the rumors are true. Either way, she's cornered. And let's be honest, Meghan has always prided herself on controlling the narrative. From carefully staged interviews to strategic leaks, she's built her entire brand on keeping the upper hand. But right now, Tom Bauer has completely outflanked her. His revelations, the 54-year-old granny insult, the yacht girl allegations, the lies about not knowing the royals, and the humiliating William bombshell have sliced right through her public image. She's angry, she's panicked, and apparently she's gearing up for a full-on legal war. But here's the reality. The damage is already done.
He's not going to be given a title. And also concerns and conversations about how dark his skin might be when he's born.
What?
And while Meghan fumes, poor Harry is reportedly mortified. Imagine spending years presenting Meghan as your great love story, the woman who saved you from the royal cage, only to have someone claim she actually wanted your brother first. Ouch. Harry, who's been mocked his whole life as the ginger spare, now looks like Meghan's second choice. The humiliation is brutal, the internet is ruthless, the whispers endless. People aren't seeing him as the dashing prince who won her heart anymore. They're mocking him as the consolation prize. And honestly, for a man who's already been struggling with identity, this has to be devastating.
With you?
With Harry.
About how dark your baby is going to be?
Potentially, and what that would mean or look like.
Ooh. And you're not going to tell me who...
And you know the internet. Once they latch onto a story, they don't let go. Twitter, or should I say X, exploded with hashtags like ASY, Yacht Girl Meghan, and Granny Sussex, memes everywhere. One viral video even shows Harry wearing a crown with the caption, "When you realize you weren't her first pick." Brutal, right? And it doesn't stop there. Meghan's face photoshopped onto yachts, Harry in a dunce cap, captions tearing apart her naive outsider narrative, now exposed as a calculated plan. And once you become a meme, you don't own your story anymore. The internet owns it. But it's not just social media laughing. Hollywood, yes, the very world Meghan has been trying to conquer, is also turning its back. Behind closed doors, producers, executives, and agents are reportedly distancing themselves. Many already found Meghan difficult and demanding. Now, with Bauer's yacht girl claim and accusations of dishonesty, they feel their suspicions are confirmed. And when Hollywood insiders start joking about you instead of praising you, that's the kiss of death. For Meghan, who wanted to be taken seriously as a cultural powerhouse, this is catastrophic. Instead of being a star, she's seen as drama. And in an industry that thrives on influence but despises scandal, she's becoming radioactive.
Already is talking about marriage, but long before their engagement is even announced, let alone they're married and she's pregnant. And he's sitting in Clarence's house with then Prince Charles and Camilla.
And here's where it gets even more dangerous. Tom Bauer isn't the type to back down. He's respected, thorough, fearless. If Meghan sues him, she risks dragging all of his research straight into the courtroom. Imagine the headlines if his receipts became part of an open trial. Meghan can't afford that. Her fairy tale love story, torn apart with the William revelation. Her narrative as the clueless outsider, shattered by evidence she studied the royals. If those three pillars collapse, what's left? Nothing but the image of a fading star, a so-called yacht girl, and a Duchess whose constant lawsuits look less like power moves and more like desperation.
You see, gets her story wrong deliberately, because she suggests is when she's already pregnant with Archie, and opera fails to pick her up when Harry then turns up on the set and contradicts Meghan's whole...
And that's exactly what Bauer has done. He stripped away the illusion and replaced it with something far uglier. To the world now, Meghan isn't the victim. She's the manipulator. Not the glamorous Duchess, but the desperate yacht girl. Not a rising star, but someone clinging to relevance. And every single time she tries to fight back, the public only laughs harder.
Reporting of this one comment in the kitchen, you know, which was totally harmless in my view, but conjured it up built it up into something.
And here's the real question everyone's asking. What does Meghan actually do now? Because she's fuming, she's threatening, but she's also standing at the edge of a cliff. If she sues Tom Bauer, she risks opening the floodgates. And this man? He's no lightweight gossip writer who can be bullied into silence. He's an investigative bulldog. He's got files, he's got witnesses, and he's got receipts ready to spill. A courtroom battle could mean every single secret she's tried to bury comes out in public view. But here's the flip side. If she keeps quiet, the narrative sticks. People believe she's a manipulator, a liar, and just like Bauer bluntly labeled her, a low-grade yacht girl. That's the kind of label that doesn't wash off easily. And Meghan knows it. So she's stuck in the ultimate dilemma. Speak up and risk total exposure, or stay silent and let her brand collapse under the weight of rumors. And here's where you come in, because Meghan's next move could decide everything. If she sues and somehow wins, she could claw back a shred of credibility. Imagine the headlines. Meghan Markle triumphs against biographer. That would give her a chance to rebuild. But if she sues and loses, it's over. Her reputation would be in tatters. Hollywood wouldn't touch her. The public wouldn't take her seriously ever again. And Harry, he'd be dragged down with her. If she stays silent, maybe, just maybe, the storm blows over in a few months. But silence also means accepting the humiliation, accepting that the world sees her not as a princess, not as a humanitarian, but as a manipulative, scheming yacht girl who settled for the spare. So here we are, Meghan Markle, furious, humiliated, and cornered. Tom Bauer, fearless, relentless, and holding all the cards. And the rest of us? Sitting back with popcorn, waiting to see if Meghan takes the fight to court or folds under the pressure. Because one way or another, this moment could change everything.